Okay, today we're going to read a book about When Gary's Trees a Piece, and we're going to do a pre-assessment activity to see how much your guys' thinking has changed before reading the book and then after reading the book. So let's fill out the first question together. Are trees important to your community, and why are they important? Oh, good answer. Trees are important because they give us air. Okay, great answer. Let's look at the second question. What are more important, trees or buildings? Oh, you think buildings are more important? Why do you think buildings are more important? Oh, because we need places to live. Alrighty, let's look at the third question. Can women do the same work as men do? And explain your answer. Brian, you don't think women can do the same work because they're not as strong? Okay. Alrighty, well, we'll look at those questions again after we get done reading your book. I'm going to read the book out loud to you, and you all should have a copy of the book too. I want you to follow along. And we're going to do a read aloud, so you all should have sticky notes. And we've done this before, so you should know how to do it. You're going to make connections to the text as you read. So the three connections are text to text, so you're going to connect this book to other books that you've read. Text to self, so you're going to connect the book to different experiences you've had. And then text to world, so this book and how it connects to the world around you. So I know you guys know how to do all this, so get your pens ready and get your tracking fingers ready, and we'll start the book. And I'm going to read it out loud for you guys, but I want you all to follow along. When Gary's Trees a Piece. When Gary lives under an umbrella of green trees in the shadow of Mount Kenya, Africa. We have lots of mountains around here, around Butte where we live. She watches the birds in the forest where she and her mother go to gather firewood for cooking. Look at pictures. And she helps harvest the sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize from the rich soil. So what do you guys help your mother do? Do you help her get dinner ready at night? When Gary shines in school, and when she grows tall, like the trees in the forest, she wins a scholarship to study in America. Does anybody know what a scholarship is? Yep, it's money to go to school or go to college when you get older. 6 years later, her study's over when Gary returns to her Kenya home and sees a change. What has happened, she wonders. Where are all the trees? And I want everybody to look at the picture. You can see there's no trees at all when Gary is. When Gary sees women bent from hauling firewood miles and miles from home, she sees barren land where no crops grow. Where are the birds? See, the women have to work really hard. They're the ones that go get the firewood and not the men. And they have to travel a long distance. Thousands of trees have been cut down to make room for buildings, but no one planted new trees to take their place. Will all of Kenya become a desert, she wonders, as her tears fall. So they're cutting down the trees to make room for more buildings, but they're not planting any more trees. When Gary thinks about the barren land, I can begin to replace some of the lost trees here in my own backyard, one tree at a time. She starts by planting nine seedlings. So when Gary just starts by planting 9 trees, and we're going to see what happens from those 9 trees that she started to plant. Watching the seedlings take root gives Wangari the idea to plant more, to start a farm for baby trees, a nursery. In an open space, she plants row after row of tiny trees. So what's a nursery? Does anybody know what a nursery is? Yep, it's a place for plants and flowers to grow, and humans take care of them there. Next, Wangari convinces the village woman that planting trees is a good thing. She gives each one seedling. Our lives will be better when we have trees again. You'll see, we are planting the seeds of hope. The women spread out over the village, planting tiny trees in long rows, like a green belt stretching over the land. The government men laugh. Women can't do this, they say. It takes trained foresters to plant trees. The women ignore the laughter and keep planting. Wangari pays them a small amount for each seedling still living after 3 months, their first earnings ever. So in Africa, women don't make money for the work that they do, so this is a really big deal to these women that they're getting paid to actually plant these trees. Word travels like wind rustling through the leaves about the green returning of Wangari's village. Soon, other women in villages and towns and cities in Kenya are planting long rows of seedlings too. So from Wangari's efforts, other women in different villages are planting trees too. But the cutting continues. Wangari stands tall as an oak to protect the old trees still remaining. We need a park more than we need an office tower. The government men disagree. Wangari blocks their way, so they hit each other with clubs. They call her a troublemaker and put her in jail. And still she stands tall. Right is right, even if you're alone. But Wangari is not alone. Talks of the trees spread all over Africa, like ripples in Lake Victoria. More women hear the talk and plant even more seedlings in longer and longer rows. The seedlings take root and grow tall until there are over 30 million trees, where there were none. So from Wangari's efforts, all these trees are growing. So just one person made all these trees grow in Africa. The umbrella of green in Kenya returns. Women walk tall, their backs straight, for now they gather firewood closer to home. The land is no longer barren. Sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize grow again in the rich red earth. The whole world hears of Wangari's trees and of her army of women who planted them. And if you were to climb to the very top of Mount Kenya today, you would see the millions of trees growing below you. And the green Wangari brought back to Africa. So Wangari, she was very smart. She studied really hard and she went to school in Africa, or in America. And when she came back, she helped her community by planting all these trees. I think that's part of being a good citizen, is to plant trees and give back to your community the way that Wangari did. So I'm going to read the author's note, and it'll talk about what Wangari did a little bit more in depth. Wangari Maathai was born in 1940 in Ithi, a small village in the verdant, fertile land of Kenya. Brilliant in school, Wangari was awarded a Kennedy Scholarship to attend college in America, where she earned both a bachelor's and master's degree in the biological sciences. Wangari